way back. It's going down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
To the 40, Herman Whitfield to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown official.
We're back again, week 6. Davis is back with Draco in the house. Joey's back in town. Welcome to the good part of Florida that doesn't get hit by hurricanes, fingers crossed. And as always, I'm your host, Ricky Robb. We're here to break down week 5 of college football and go into week 6 and give you our picks and locks. How about them apples? I mean, it was every week this week in college football has been kind of crazy with upsets, with close games, with unexpected just happening like every single week for me. And there's a couple things that I said last week that I want to go over, especially Georgia with the Kent State victory and how they looked not too good. I was like, they're probably just trying some new shit. This week they didn't look good either. We'll get into all of that. But first, I'm going to let my co-hosts say their piece from last week. I know, Joey, you didn't make it last week, right? You weren't on here last week, so you got to...
I was on here last week. Not on here last week?
Yeah. Let me see. You were here last week.
I'm had a couple of things.
We had Davis, you weren't here last week.
No, I wasn't at the boy to South Florida, but ended up not doing that. Personally, we had other people.
Your shit sucks. This is why you get on 1 minute, more than 1 minute before the show. Find another audio source. Rookie. Anyway. All right. His locks last week were Arkansas plus 17.5. We actually liked that. Didn't end up happening. Alabama and Jahmyr Gibbs there at the end just quite literally ran away with it. That man is a beast, to say the least. Rocking the number 1 jersey. And Bryce Young going to be out. We don't know how long. Maybe he might be out. He might play. I think he's going to be out here in this next game. And we'll see who they're playing next week. Do you know who?
It's the same injury that Ewers had, and it kept him out, obviously. 2-3 would be tough for him to get back, I think. But they say it's dated.
Gotcha. Davis also had the NC State Clemson over at 40.
Easy dub.
That hit. Good job. And then I forgot what your other one was. I don't have it written down here, but you texted it to us. Do you remember?
Hold on, I can check, but
No, I got it. Let's see.
I'm about to log
Rutgers.
on to Wi-Fi.
Gotcha. You had Rutgers plus 40.5. So
Against Ohio State.
that hit. Oh, dude, they're spot on there. That was 39 points. So you're good. You're safe. You don't have to take a shot. I had Washington minus 3. That didn't hit. I had Kentucky plus 6.5. That was good. And then I had NC State plus 6.5. So that's going to be a shot for me.
I had the exact same 3. I forgot that we did that.
Yeah, we did do that. And I'll have to run up whenever I get a break and go grab my vodka because it's not near me. Our guest picker, actually, let's see. Justin had Washington. Also, he had Wake plus 7. That hit. Yep. And then Texas Tech lost, so that one did not hit. So Justin's gonna have to take a shot with us as well. Sorry, buddy, you owe us a shot. Davis owes us like 5 somehow.
All right. Well, I've got the Knob Creek word, so
I'll give you a knob.
well, I'll be sitting along with y'all.
Welcome in the chat, Mr. Joey Two Guns. You don't have to take a shot, dude. You have to take a shot.
Fine.
I I just want to throw out there. I think I remember last year. Last year, I think was probably the worst season I've ever had when it came to throwing picks down. But I think I'm off to a really solid start this year. I'm going to try and keep the momentum going.
Yeah, you were pretty bad last year, but I think we're all just getting better. Joey's hitting the Jose for Joey up there. All right. Yeah, Justin owes us one. I owe y'all one as soon as we get a break here. Our guest picker, Eddie Kane. Great guest. He was hilarious last night at Big Top. He was kind of quiet on the podcast, but hey, that was our first, I believe that was our first guest who was actually a college football player. So if we can get more of those on, maybe we'd be an actually a good college football podcast, you know? If we got some college football guests on here, or we just keep talking shit the whole time. It doesn't really matter to me.
Justin and I should have taken advantage of the relationship we had with Austin Reed from when we used to have him as a regular guest on our radio show. That guy is one of the top quarterbacks in the nation right now in terms of statistics.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to ask you guys to get him on back in the day, and maybe we can still get him on. Maybe we can reach out to him. We'll see. All right, we're going to hop right into it. We're going to get into last week, Thursday night. BYU took care of Utah State. Don't really care too much about that. South Carolina took care of South Carolina State. And then going into Friday, Washington at UCLA. We all had locks on Washington because we were like, Michael Penix Jr. is amazing. And he still threw for 345 yards here. But on the other end of things, UCLA and Chip Kelly, they're undefeated. And what do you know? Mr. Dorian Thompson Robinson just had one of the highlights of the week whenever he hurdled. He hurdled like 10 feet in the air. It was no joke. Absolutely crazy hurdle over some Washington defenders.
He hurdles a guy, then right at the goal line, stops and just walks on into the end zone. This is a guy who's been a quarterback at UCLA for like 5 years now. I feel like he's been there forever. And Chip Kelly is slowly building a decent program right now. Although I feel like last time I was like speaking of a program we haven't been talking about, I completely screwed them over. So I'm just going to sit back and see what UCLA can do.
Yeah, I'm not. Every time UCLA gets on my good side, I pick them, and then I put them back on my bad side because they lose. But they do have a crazy game coming up with Utah. I think Utah's coming to town, or they're going to Utah. Let me see. Yeah, no, they got Utah at the Rose Bowl. So that'll be a good game, and we'll talk about that here later on in the show. All right, another interesting game on Friday night was Tulane and Houston. I said Tulane would get that. I wish I would have threw it that as one of my locks because I wanted to, but I didn't. And they won 27-24. Houston surprised me a little bit, keeping it close there. But what are you going to do? UTSA with the win over Middle Tennessee after Middle Tennessee beat Miami. The Roadrunners are meeping. And that's all I really care about. Boise State gets a win over San Diego State. We'll shout out the Broncos. Let's ride into Saturday, October 1st. Georgia at Missouri. Just opening thoughts here, because this is the week that Georgia went from being number one. Everyone was like, Kent State was just kind of a mess up, to now Alabama's retaking the lead as the number one team in the nation in the standings, in the rankings. And people are actually saying, hey, hold up, Georgia. What in the hell is going on? What happened to Georgia here this week, guys?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you guys, I'm not going to have a whole lot to say this week in Ohio, but yeah, Georgia, maybe they're lulling themselves to sleep over the last 2 years or whatever, being so much better than everyone else. Thinking there's not really that good of a team in college football this year. We'll see what Georgia does them off yet. Like I said last week, when I said I wasn't writing them off after the Kent State loss, but sucks. They're not good. They lost to Auburn. Auburn sucks. So,
that's one of those games where I feel like I need to publicly apologize to my fiance, very soon to be wife, and we're at her birthday dinner, and I'm checking my phone throughout her birthday dinner to see what Missouri and Georgia are doing. Georgia comes back and they ultimately win. But with that being said, I didn't really get a chance to actually watch the game. But yeah, it's 2 weeks in a row where Georgia it has been sleeping. Now Missouri is playing Florida. I know we'll get into that, but I mean, I think Georgia is kind of like sleeping on some teams they shouldn't be sleeping on. They're still a really good team. I'm gonna let that move forward and still say that them being number 2 is right, but they're still a good team. You put them against a serious team, they're gonna perform. So I'm still thinking that Georgia is a top 2-3 team.
Yeah, I think they're still up there. I watched a little bit of the game here and there whenever I was switching back and forth. Stetson Bennett was not on in the first half. He was not on at all. There were blown coverages on defense for Georgia on a couple of those touchdown plays, and there were some Georgia players getting mad at one another on the sideline, trying to hold each other accountable. I think this was just another slow start. It was at Missouri. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know, but it shows you that Georgia can have an off day, and I think this season in college football, any team can have an off day, and any team can lose, and that is just going to be one of those seasons, in my opinion. I think the most consistent team right now, in my opinion, has been Ohio State.
That game against Notre Dame was not impressive.
No,
it
wasn't, but that's early on in the season. I'll give them a pass on that.
No, I think you talk about Ohio State. Yeah, they're doing good. C.J. Stroud, probably the front runner for the Heisman right as of right now, or the quarterback from Kansas. Just give them a little bit of love.
Yeah.
Love that game day is going there.
It's not winning the
Jaden
Heisman.
By the way, there's a couple of teams out there that have a Jay Daniels as a quarterback. LSU, Kansas, and West Virginia.
I wish I could hit you with the who cares button right now, but I can't because I took it off for this week. The one week I took it. But look, no one from Kansas is winning the Heisman. All right, the last guy who won the Heisman from Kansas was probably named like Crazy Legs Magoo or something stupid shit like that.
Is that the jokes you're talking
Do you know who won the Heisman from Kansas last? No, you don't. That's right.
I don't think there ever has been.
You don't know that. Yeah, hit the Google real quick and then say his name. It's probably something real white in 1930s. All right, we'll move on while Joey.
Super funny. They just tried to correct me to Oklahoma Heisman winner.
Answer zero.
Kyler Murray. That's funny. All right, we'll go down the line. Alabama, Arkansas. Alabama, like to let Arkansas come back here real quick. There was a bad snap on special teams on a punt that was probably one of the worst snaps I've ever seen in my life, but not counting the one in high school that made me punt the ball minus. It wasn't you.
Oh.
It was Etheridge. Etheridge almost snapped it over my head. You're lucky that wasn't a safety.
That's all.
Anyway, so Alabama, even without Bryce Young, still ran the ball quite well. And
yeah, I mean, we all 17 points, whatever it was, and they were obviously pretty close to covering that one score away. If Bryce Young plays in this game, though, I don't think I get close. I think that kind of gave Arkansas a spark, and Alabama might be they're gonna be good again. Who would?
Yeah, it kind of sucks. Welcome, the official Red Hood. We are streaming on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. Our Facebook pages. Give us a like and follow. We do this every Tuesday. Just college football picks and locks. So yeah, now go into Ohio State and Rutgers. Ohio State beats them 49-10. They had a little tussle there towards the end of the ball game. Ohio State's, I think, was it their punter that got late hit out of bounds, and like to start a war on the sidelines. I don't know, guys. Tear him up.
The official, he doesn't know much about college football, so awesome. Glad that you're here. We can teach you about some football or about betting. But I mean, obviously, I knew that Ohio State was going to win this game. I just felt 40.5 was so large to where Ohio State might sleep a little bit and let them cover. I'm glad that they did.
Yeah, this is not unexpected here. Ohio State was going to win this game 10 times out of 10. So we'll move on in the interest of time. Michigan beats Iowa 27-14 with, given how Iowa plays, I think that's a good win. It's not the best win. You could be more impressive. It's at Iowa. You did what you had to do as the number 4 team in the nation. You go in there and you just win in a hostile environment. Anything to say about Michigan here? Michigan, Iowa here? No surprises to me.
That might be a season high, I think.
What'd you say?
That Iowa might be a season week, so good for them.
Still didn't get it. That's okay. All right, NC State.
Cool.
At Clemson. Clemson beats them 30-20, and I thought NC State would have this one just because of pure hatred for Clemson. I think I don't really hate them, but I just don't want to see them in the playoffs every year. But it looks to me like they're figuring out how to use DJ Uiagalelei. It looks like they're using his feet. It looks like he's more comfortable. And I looked at his stats. I think his stats last season at this point in time were he had like 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, passing touchdowns. And now he's got 11 touchdowns and 1 interception on the season. So a clear improvement from last year. Clemson fans got to be happy about that, and it keeps those naysayers content.
Yeah,
Who are
well,
like, Kate Klubnik needs to start.
Not only that, but NFL scouts. I mean, this guy's 6'5", 240. I mean, you got to imagine that NFL scouts are going crazy about this guy. But
They're getting wet in their panties.
Yeah, I mean, but he underperformed last year, so this year was the year for him to really try and see what he can do. Of course, he has another year of eligibility, but he's off to a good start. Got off to a rough start at the beginning of this season, but played extremely well against Wake Forest. Had probably his best game ever against Wake Forest, and then played really well against a tough NC State team. I think that he still has some ways to go, as in he still needs to play the rest of the season and see what happens. But he's doing his thing. I mean, Cade Kublik is their backup, and I know there was the pressure to him. I don't know. Is it care? I don't know. But either way, like he's performing well. I think he's performing the way Clemson wants him to at the moment. He still has the rest of the half of the season to go.
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly.
If they're going to use him, he's going to be more of a problem. He's not a drop back passer at all. But back like he's been this year, I'm not going to go and say he's got a great NFL prospect yet. Because that defensive line is good. They're going to have quality skill guys. So, I didn't think I was very low on Clemson, but now they're a problem. NC State, I was a little disappointed in them, to be honest with you. Devin Leary has not impressed me this year, and I really liked him coming in.
Yeah, and you know what? Clemson's defense kind of showed him the what for there last week. Held him to minimal rushing yards, which that's what I like about O'Leary is he can, or not O'Leary, Leary. This ain't no Florida State tight end. That he can actually run and get yards, and he actually lowers his shoulder and makes some plays sometimes. But this week, not happening. Not so fast, my friend. Clemson gets it done and looking like the best team in the ACC once more. Okay, USC had Arizona State come to town, and it was a close game there for a while. They ran away with it there at the very end, but not terribly impressive. Caleb Williams throws for 348 yards, still a lot. USC just kind of on cruise control right now.
Yeah, their defense needs to get better.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's also a Lincoln Riley team. I mean, every team he's ever had, we're all saying the defense needs to get better. So that's another one of those teams where I'm holding out until they get to the end of the year and play a game that truly matters.
This has got to be Devin Floyd, right, Robert?
The official Red Hood, dude. I don't know who it is. I don't think it is because Devin likes to watch on his own account. I can tell it's Devin. Devin doesn't have sock accounts.
move.
Devin doesn't have sock accounts like that. Someone in general, like, it doesn't have to be a friend. Tell me what you got to tell us who the team is, like, and then we can tell you how to rag on them. Like, if you tell us what team he likes, we'll tell you how to rag on him. Other than that, it can't really.
Yeah, we're more than happy to help you shit talk your friends.
Yeah, we will help. We will spend the rest of this we won't even lock anything up. We'll just spend the rest of the podcast just shit talking.
All right, they'll come back next week.
Yeah. All right, I'll come back next week. All right, whatever. All right, moving on. Kentucky at Ole Miss. I locked in Kentucky. We had a Kentucky former football player on last week, and just didn't happen for him. Ole Miss with those real tree blue camouflage helmets and the navy blue, or not navy blue, and the baby blue, powder blue jerseys got it done. There was a safety here. It would have been 20-19. Kentucky could have tried to run down there and get a field goal, but there at the end, Will Levis fumble and Ole Miss recovers. Very physical ball game. Very fun to watch this game in real time. Congratulations, Ole Miss. And I don't know what they're ranked this week, but they definitely catapulted up a little bit. Kentucky, not the number 7 team in the nation. They were not.
Well, this fired me up, though. Ole Miss, I mean, I've always really liked Lane Kiffin, except for when he was talking shit about Florida back in 2009. But this fired me up for Ole Miss. This fired me up for Lane Kiffin. I thought it was a good win. I was a little pissed off still about how Florida lost to Kentucky. But I thought overall, defensively, Ole Miss won them the ball game without a doubt. They kept it together. They managed to finish it strong, especially when you thought Kentucky was about to pull through. And, hey, good for them for managing to make it happen. I was extremely fired up. Fuck Kentucky.
You still salty? I'm salty, too. You got any thoughts here, Joey?
Yeah, Kentucky got the 6.5, which is nice. I had a decent amount of money on that. But opportunity to win this game, too. And they just didn't take advantage of it. It's tough. You're on the road. It's a conference game. A little disappointing, Kentucky. I thought they might take a next step here. But they still got a chance to have a very good season.
Damn, you're skipping around a lot there.
Georgia's going to be good.
It's like a skipping CD for some reason. Just weird. All right.
I still understand.
Yeah, we got most of that. That was good. Moving forward, still in the Kentucky thing though. With the SEC in general, with the East and West this time, I feel like a lot of the teams are on the same level, even the ones that have been winning. I think they've been winning, and then they're gonna lose. Georgia might even lose. I don't know who to.
I mean, I like you think about how like Florida lost to Kentucky, and think about how they lost to Tennessee. Like those are close losses. Like, I mean, Florida in the second half looked like shit against Kentucky. They fought like hell against Tennessee. Like the SEC East, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Florida. Like those 4 teams are all competing really, really hard. So we could have a good shakeup. And Florida kind of kicked themselves in the ass early in the year. Like, they can still compete against Georgia. We'll see. And, you know, maybe we'll have an interesting SEC championship when we get there.
Yeah, I mean, they can compete. They can compete against Georgia on a Georgia bad day. We're not going to compete against Georgia when they're having a Georgia good day. Like,
like last year, Georgia, they kicked the shit out. They could do that again. Like, we'll see. Sure.
Right. Kirby always likes to get him ready for the Florida game. He's such an asshole, dude. Such an asshole. All right, moving on. Oklahoma State looked good against Baylor. Baylor came back a little bit there at the end. Oklahoma State wins 36-25. I believe that was a shot game for somebody. I had Oklahoma State. Someone else had Baylor. It was either you or Justin. It was you. There you go. Get him. Got him. Wait, Joey, was that our shot game? Am I remembering that correctly?
You are. I didn't remember until you just said it, but I definitely had Baylor.
I thought so. I thought that's fine, you know, because there's other shots to be taken. There's other shots to be had. But yeah, Oklahoma State looking good. And now after Kentucky losing and a couple other teams having some rough goes of it, Oklahoma State finds itself. It's on the honor system, baby. You're fine. All right, moving onward. Penn State gets it done against Northwestern 17-7. Not a huge victory at home, but it was a little muggy there, a little rainy. So, honestly, didn't really watch this game too much. There were other intriguing games out there.
I didn't watch the game at all.
Utah beats the absolute living shit out of Oregon State, 42-16. Utah's finding its stride. They're looking forward to UCLA next week. Texas A&M lost to Mississippi State. Mississippi State beats them 42-24. Mike Leach got something going there in Starkville.
Good win. Good win for them. I wanted them to win really good.
I should have locked this game in last week because I did love it. Because, well, I guess you weren't there, but what I said was A&M's going to run about 50 plays and Mississippi State's going to run about 100. That has double the chances to score, and they pretty much doubled Texas A&M. I was curious how many plays they actually ran, but I don't know. I'm not going to be able to find that here. So
I was there with you. I think I picked Mississippi State to win on my pick'ems. Not my pick'ems that I'm in with you, but just like ESPN pick'ems. Just because Texas A&M has been inconsistent, and I think you got to throw in some wild cards there. But Mississippi State threw it all over them. Will Rogers throws for 329 yards. Good job. Way to go. This next game, absolutely insane. TCU blows Oklahoma out of the water, and they could have done it even worse. They mudhole stomped their asses. TCU 55, OU 24.
Dude,
Max Duggan passed for 302 yards, and he ran for at least one long touchdown that I saw.
I mean, that's a game that assisted in setting up the college game day matchup between Kansas and TCU. I mean, Oklahoma 2 weeks in a row losing to unranked teams. Apparently, since 2008, Oklahoma leads the way. They lead the nation in most unranked losses. Oklahoma shows up against ranked teams, but if they're put up against an unranked team, they just completely fall down, shit the bed, and most of the time it's against Kansas State, which happened last week, or 2 weeks ago. Last week it was against TCU.
And that sets up for a good game this week. TCU plays Kansas.
Yeah.
College game of the week. Sunny Dykes and the Horny Frogs looking good. Horny Frogs, Horny Toads.
Horned Frogs.
No, they're toads, right?
The horn frogs.
The Horned Frogs.
The horn frog.
Now I got
Frogs.
Noe going, what?
The horny Roberts.
Well, it kind of did sound right.
Yeah, it sounded good. All right.
The horny toads.
Moving on, Purdue goes to Minnesota, and they get the win. Purdue's got a tough one against Northwestern this week. Nah, not really. The spread's what gets me on this week, but we won't go too much into that. PK Fleck, you got to do better. PJ Fleck, sorry.
Yeah.
Peking Duck.
I think his record was undefeated against Purdue going into last week's game. Yeah.
Purdue, they take someone out that you didn't expect them to.
You have to make your sacrifice to Purdue because they're the spoiler makers. They're going to break a streak. They're going to do something. Not making too much noise this year. We'll see what happens when they play Ohio State. I mean, that's the win, right? That's the one win you're going to get from Purdue. The big one. Anyway.
I mean, Ohio State is another one of those teams that is good for one unexpected loss a year.
Yeah, typically. All right, moving on. This one was rough. Watched it with two of my FSU buddies at Joey's house. Joey wasn't there, but I'm sure he was not happy with it. Wake Forest gets the job done, 31-21 at FSU, and quite a crowd. Even though there was a hurricane there, and Wake Forest head coach made a big deal about it, but crowd was pumped. FSU just couldn't stop him. Could not stop number 6, Justice Ellison. He ran for 114 yards. Mostly, a lot of that was there in the third quarter, receiving and running.
Yeah, I mean, FSU just didn't really play well. That's all what it comes down to. And when you're playing a team with a very good quarterback. You don't play well, you don't put out your best performance, you're going to lose. This team, I think, needed a wake-up call that, we weren't going to – we're getting a little cocky. We weren't going to go undefeated. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm more worried about these next 2 games. A good season. Win one of the next 2, and you're in line still for 10 wins. Chance the ACC championship is only you win one of the next 2.
Yeah,
it hurts
I was
gonna say it hurts when you don't have your NFL defensive tackle leading the ACC in sacks, which Verse did play for about 20 plays, but that funky offense that they run.
Right, and my thing was here, there was some plays that, just individual plays that some of the Wake Forest wide receivers went up and got the ball in the end zone a couple times from some FSU defenders. Great catches, great plays, and you can't really do anything about that sometimes. And another thing, that was my first time getting to see Wake Forest run the slow mesh, and that whole it's hard on the eyes and the brain. If you're a football person, if you know like RPOs and different things like that, you're like, because I'm thinking the whole time, just fucking get in there, break the pocket down, put a nose tackle in the middle. But no, their O-line's good. They're holding the D-line, whoever they're playing, for a fair amount of time, at least enough time to where their quarterback can get the ball out, or a wide receiver can get open. He can see that he's open and get the ball to him. Or the running back just takes the ball if he sees a hole, because I saw that happen a couple times too. Is it an RPO? Is it just him and the running back kind of making the decision? Is he whispering something in his ear?
Teams they're never going to have a lot of guys leave early, and you got to think, but this is still COVID rosters, so the 6th year offensive linemen that are playing for them. Go look at their offensive line roster. It's seniors, and again you got to add an extra year on to them. So. They're just, like I said, well-coached team, big defensive tackle that could have actually broken the mesh up.
Yeah, bunch of
Tough
big
offense,
old hog mollies up there. All right, and moving on to our, one of our final games. I'm not even going to waste any time on this. Congratulations, Georgia Tech, on getting an unexpected win against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, you're out of the top 25. I don't know what else to tell you. You lost to Georgia Tech. They don't have a coach. They fired their athletic director, too. The team's in shambles, and you had them at home, and you lost. What's going on in Pittsburgh? I don't know. Kansas State takes care of Texas Tech 37-28. Justin, when you come back on this podcast next week, get off the Red Raiders bandwagon, because it ain't riding, buddy. The whole state of Kansas is going off. And if you're not hopping on one of them, you're going to get left in the dust by the Wildcats or the Jayhawks. That's all I'm saying. Any other games from last week y'all just kind of want to shout out that you saw? Obviously Kansas got the win there, but Iowa State not really moving the ball there that much, and they had a couple turnovers there close to the red zone and the end zone that could have went either way. I think they missed the field goal, too, to win.
Mine's really quick. Florida played on Sunday. I thought defensively, although we held them to not a lot of points, there were some small things there that I thought we looked shitty on. Offensively, we looked great. So that's all I had to say.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's going on because we played Eastern Washington, but it was nice to see, one, the second string get some playing time in, and Jalen Kitna come in there, and he looked very good. He looked good. If we needed to have a backup come in, he looked like he could run the offense. Anthony Richardson looked a little bit more accurate, so we'll see. He actually got to run the ball a little bit. Almost got hurt. He did get hurt a little bit. That's why Kitna came in.
That's how Jalen got in.
Yeah, so little scare there. You don't want to get hurt against Eastern Washington. Fuck up your whole season. West Virginia loses Texas. Texas doing good. Hudson Card threw for 300 yards, 303 yards, and just trying to maintain the wins up until Quentin Ewers can get back. LSU beats Auburn 21-17. Auburn was up 17-0 at one point in that game. Absolutely atrocious.
Brian Harsin might be in trouble. May not be
Yeah.
his fault though, but he might be
Yeah.
in trouble.
And prayers up to that LSU guy in the very beginning of the game. It's kind of hard to watch, like the very first kickoff. You never want to see anything like that happen. He was looked like he wasn't moving, but ended up getting taken to the hospital on a stretcher, or getting taken out of the stadium on a stretcher and then to the hospital. They said he could move his extremities, and he was talking though, so scare avoided there. That's good. Hope he recovers well. All right. Moving on to week 6 picks and locks. Almost at the 30-minute mark. We did good. We bullshitted for about 5 minutes, and now we're here. Sorry. We got SMU at UCF on a Wednesday night, just for my buddy Pat who watches this. Fuck UCF. SMU's going to win. Not throwing any kind of locks or anything. 6 p.m. in the Bounce House on a Wednesday night. Pretty sure shit's still flooded in Orlando. Go fuck yourself, Pat. Y'all are going to lose.
I like SMU too.
You like SMU too? I'm just curious.
I'm not even looking at that game, so.
Yeah. So UCF's -3. Yeah, fuck them. Yeah. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
All right. Friday. So we don't have any Thursday night games. That's fine. All right. I'm getting spoiled here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Nebraska, Rutgers. Who cares? Hopefully Nebraska wins. That's all I gotta say. Houston, Memphis. Fuck Houston.
Is that me?
What you got there, Dave?
It couldn't be anyone else.
God damn it. So I have my ESPN page up, but it likes to play ads every now and then.
Yeah, I know how ESPN works. When you click on it, you know it automatically plays. Disney's got to get theirs,
Didn't we
dude.
have the same problem last year?
We've had it every
Okay,
year.
here's what throws me off is that it doesn't play the audio right away until I'm actually looking at the shit, and then it plays.
It doesn't change. It does not change. Look, you're doing a good job. You're trying to get your research going ahead of time before everything. But you know what? Here's what you do. You show up to the show maybe 15 minutes early. You pick your games, and you mute all that shit. That's what you got to do. I'm joking. We're just
speaking truth, though. You're speaking truth. I hear you.
Busting your balls. All right. Here we go. Good time. Why don't we start off with this Florida-Missouri game? I want to get it out of the way. Davis. I want to talk about the Gators. Gators got an SEC East game at Florida. 11 a.m. Missouri's probably coming in a little hot after almost beating Georgia.
Yeah.
Florida? I don't know. This game is up in the air for me. I don't know what the spread is. Real quick, let's go take a peek at it. We're favorite -11. I don't like it.
I don't like -11 either. But also, I think lost to Missouri last year. So but it's a home game. We have that going for Florida, and I think they're going to win the game. I genuinely do. I think that we did extremely well last week offensively. Defensively, there were some things there, but come on. I mean, look who we played, Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
But also, like, Florida has played every team so far this year tough. I mean, they'll win the game. I just want them to have a statement win that actually says, hey, there's hope to look forward to. So, like give us a shot. So they have to blow Missouri out. They have to, right? They have to blow them out.
If it happens again,
The spread.
Joey's right. If this happens again, there's gonna be a shot penalty on the audio.
Wait, me?
Yep.
Wait, my internet is full bars.
The fans rule in this podcast, so.
God damn it. Well, hey, all right.
All
So
right.
are you hearing me clearly right now?
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Oh no. I was referring to the ESPN pop-up sound.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll
Yeah,
take the honorary one just because.
Honorary one. There you go. Slowing down the show. Yeah, I'm with you here. I'm going to say Florida gets the win for no reason. There's no reason at all I should be given a pick for us to win this game. It's because our offense was clicking last week a little bit. That's the only reason why I could say they might win. If Florida's offense is clicking, I could say that we're going to win. But Florida's offense was clicking against Tennessee. Lost that game. Tennessee's a good team. I don't know.
Yeah, all I was going to say is saying you should win this game easy. Missouri's bad, man. Florida's bad too, but you get that?
Yeah, no, I know we're bad. Missouri knows they're bad, but they didn't know they were bad last week. They thought they were good last week. So what if they think they're good this week? I don't, it's one of those things where this whole season is just making me look retarded and making me feel like I shouldn't even have a college football podcast because every single week I'm taking shots because I get 1 out of 3. Maybe here and there I'll get a 2 out of 3 on my locks. We're losing money here. We're losing big time money.
Big time.
Big time money. All right, so got that out of the way. Big game, 11 a.m. here. Texas at Oklahoma. The Red River rivalry. You can't call it the Red River shootout anymore because guns are bad, apparently. I got Texas winning. Oklahoma got shit on last week by TCU. And if Quentin Ewers is back, I definitely got Texas. But I think they're a well-rounded enough team to where their defense can hold Oklahoma and their offense can score some points. And then Oklahoma's defense is not stopping Texas. They're not stopping Bijan. Is it Bijan Johnson?
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson. They're not stopping Bijan. He barely fumbles. He's only had one fumble.
Like a $500,000 car, by the way.
As he should.
Yeah, NIL deal is treating him well as Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. No, I think I have Texas winning this game, assuming that actually it really doesn't matter who's back at quarterback. But Quinn Ewers should be back for this game. I have him covering. I'm gonna lock it in. I like Texas going into this game. I mean, this game is always a hard-fought game. It doesn't really matter what the records are. It's like Army-Navy. It doesn't matter what the records are. They're going to fight like hell. But I'm going to give this to Texas to lock it in.
We locked it in. And I'm gonna lock it in, too. Yeah. Because it's an annual lock for me every year. I lock in this game. Every single year you can go back and watch them. I do. I'm locking in Texas.
Yeah, I love this game. It's one of my favorite games that I say it every single year. I have 2 standing bets I make every single year in this game. It's the over. So,
damn it.
All my other locks are duds. They lock in Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma wins the game, actually. I don't think they start 0-3 in the Big 12. So, lock it in.
We're going to lock in. I'm going to switch mine. I'm going with Joey. Because Joey's right. Every single year, this over is the bet to make. So, I'm going to go with you, and I'm going to lock in the over. I think Texas could win, but I could also see a world where Oklahoma gets their shit together after last week and wins, too. So, I think the over is probably the better bet here.
Dylan Gabriel's probably not playing for Oklahoma, though, because he got murdered.
Yeah, he did get murdered last week. I forgot to say that. Probably one of the reasons contributing to the loss, right? But still, bad looks all around. So is he concussed? Is that what's going on? He's just concussed?
I think major concussed.
Major concussed. Davis, you can piss. I think Joey and I can handle this while you can piss.
I texted you like 15 minutes ago. I already did it.
Oh, you already did? I just assumed you used a
see him walk up and leave.
Yeah,
I got it left for like a minute.
I try not to look at my phone too much while I'm doing the podcast, so I just saw it. Anyway. So yeah, I think
wasn't missed.
Yeah, sorry about that. I skipped some games here. All right. Arkansas at Mississippi State at 11 a.m. I'm going with Mississippi State. I think they keep it rolling. They're in the top 25 now, and it's been a trend this year. Once teams get in the top 25, they tend to lose. But I don't see the. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna count a Sam Pittman team out mentally, but I'm seeing Arkansas kind of give up in some of these games, and I think Mississippi State's hitting its role here. And if you were to ask me at the beginning of the season, is Arkansas going to beat Mississippi State this year? I'd say, yeah, 100%. Arkansas is going to go maybe 10-2. But I think Mississippi State wins this game and continues their rolling forward of momentum. What say you guys?
I mean, this I think that Mississippi State is going to win this game for sure. I do love the fact that their stadium begins with the name Davis. What's up? I feel like I'm coming across that name more often. And 61.5 is a team. Hey, Davis is a great name. But here's why I think Mississippi State is going to cover this game. They're going to cover. It's because Will Rogers is so disrespected. You want to know how I know he's disrespected? Is that for literally 2 years, ESPN hasn't even put a profile picture on his name. Go to ESPN right now. You're going to find profile pictures for everybody with exception of Will Rogers. That's disrespect to me, and he's going to stick it to ESPN. And what the SEC network's calling this game. So I'm going to lock in Mississippi State. They're going to win this game -8 beyond then.
That's a good lock. I respect that lock.
I'm not locking this. I wasn't really high on Arkansas coming into this year, but I like your team coming off an emotional loss where they came back and then got stomped down again after they came back, and then they win against a team that a lot of people think thought were better than them. So I like probably bet it.
Gotcha. All right. Onward. Purdue at Maryland's kind of interesting to me. I'm just going to throw a pick out there. I think Maryland gets the win. Maryland's looking pretty good. Even in their loss to Michigan, I thought they looked pretty good. No, don't care. All right. Auburn at Georgia. I think this is the week that Georgia looks like Georgia again. I think they kicked the absolute shit out of Auburn. 2:30 on CBS at Georgia. Georgia's -30 favorites. And I'm not going to say they covered that. That's a lot of points for a Georgia team to cover, especially if they get up early. But I got Georgia winning this game big.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn's technically on their third-string quarterback right now. So, I mean, Georgia's going to win. -30. Maybe this is going to be a statement game for them, and they'll blow them out. That's why I actually first off, the over and under is 49, and they're favored by 30. So I'm going to avoid this game. I have another game in mind, but Georgia will win. And
Yeah.
it'll be, I think it'll probably be by like 21-24.
I thought too, but I like Georgia -30. I think they come out. They're pissed off after these 2 weeks. They're harassed, and Auburn's bad. Man, Auburn's just not a good football team. I haven't watched them. I think their coach is on the way out. Everyone there hates them already. So I think Georgia absolutely Thompson. I think, I'd be surprised if Auburn scored more than 14 points. So.
Yeah, I'd be.
One quick thing is I think if I think 49, I would take the under for the sole fact that I don't think Auburn's going to score points.
It's gonna be a ruthless beatdown. 30 point. I almost would take the 30, the spread.
I'm probably gonna bet it. I'm probably gonna bet spreads like that. So
Yeah. To me, it's always just a lot of points. I like smaller spreads, but what do I know? I go 1-3 every week on my locks, so that's fine. All right. Texas Tech goes to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State ranked 7th in the nation. Oklahoma State does this thing every single year when they get up about this high, maybe even 2 or 3, where they just fucking lose. And Texas Tech has lost 2 weeks in a row to some pretty good teams. Is it this week? I don't think so. I think Oklahoma State gets the win.
Oh, they get the win. They get the win. I think they'll even cover the 9.5. Over and under 70. That's a lot of points. That is a lot of points. I would take the under if I'm you. That's just so many points. But again, you're losers of 2 in a row. That's really tough to rebound. All of a sudden, beat a top 7 team. It's a Mike Gundy-led team. I really hope one day he'll take a team to the postseason because he has been there for too long. He's so famous for what he is. Like, I hope he can one day lead his team to the Final Four.
I stand corrected. They lost last week to Kansas State. They did. They won the week prior versus Texas, and then they lost to NC State the week before that.
All right, so 2 after.
I've been on the wrong side of both these teams, betting for them or against them all year. So I just because I like the plus sign next to my bets, but I have no idea. I can't figure it out.
And you know what? That Oklahoma Baylor game was really fun to watch. Like, Baylor had some speed, especially I think his number 80 is like a wide receiver. He took off for like a 65, 70-yard touchdown. And same with Oklahoma State. They had a kick return for a touchdown. Took off on them. So both teams are very fun to watch. I'm going to skip this game. We're going to make that the game of the week. And then we have Wisconsin and Northwestern. I don't really care too much about this game. I think Northwestern gets the win. The only reason I'm mentioning this game is because I saw Northwestern was the underdog in this game on one of the pick'ems. Yeah, they're plus 10 here. So I'm thinking they're going to win. I think Northwestern's going to win. Yeah, Wisconsin sucked all year.
You know, Northwestern's only win against Nebraska. You were at my house when we watched it, I think.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, Wisconsin's bad. They're bad as well.
They're bad. You want to do a shot? You want to bet a shot? I'll take Wisconsin for a shot.
No, I'm looking at the schedule now. And I don't like the odds.
Yeah, well, they're 10-point underdogs, and you think they're going to win.
But, you know...
That's a terrible...
You're gonna challenge this one to a shot? Both teams so shitty.
Saying, I don't know. Wisconsin's going to overpower them.
I'm glad I didn't turn in my pick'em because Northwestern was sure enough going on my pick'em. I thought they'd won another game.
I bet against teams more than I bet on teams, and I looked at Wisconsin and almost put them on there as how bad Northwestern is. So, anyway.
All right, we'll stay away from that one. Cool game to watch. Maybe East Carolina at Tulane. Both teams are very physical. I like how Tulane's playing football this year. I like how East Carolina's playing football this year. I would not touch this one though because both teams I could see winning this ball game. Yeah, it's -3 either way.
Yeah.
Man. I like Tulane. That's what I don't know. I'm not gonna stay on this one because I'll go around in circles. Ohio State plays Michigan State. Michigan State has been looking terrible this year. I think Ohio State gets the win. Fairly easy. They're -26.5 favorites. The over/under's at 64. I think I would take the under, if anything.
It's tough. Michigan State's a hard team to read too because they were ranked so high earlier in the season. Done well. But again, to see these big spreads, like I said, I agree with you. I'd take the under and I'd stay away from the point spread because I think it's going to be right there.
You got anything, Davis?
I don't. I'm not even following that game at all.
All right. Moving forward, North Carolina versus Miami. This one was interesting to me because I believe North Carolina were dogs, and they still are. So Miami's favorite -4. I'm going to take the Tar Heels, and I'm going to lock them in at +4.
Yep. Same. I'm not gonna lock, but because I'm saving my last one. But no, I think North Carolina will win this game. Miami off to a unprecedented rough start, to say the least. I mean, Tyler Van Slyke, he had so much hype going into this year, and he struggled. He has struggled. I mean, Jake Garcia, who's his backup, who was another blue chip guy. I mean, he came in and didn't really compare that much better. So we'll see if Miami can rebound, but in the meantime, give me North Carolina.
Yep.
I think the lock for me is going to be Tyler at the end of the year. He does not. The offense last year was way more tailored towards him, and now he just can't figure it out. He's going to go. I think. I like North Carolina in this game, but I really like the over. North Carolina's like an automatic pick for me right now. Their defense is so bad, and they got a great quarterback. I think Miami will put up points, but I'm not going to lock that in. But it's a rat line. It's a rat line.
You like the over? You like the over a lot? I was looking at that.
Yeah, North Carolina's defense is Swiss cheese, and their quarterback, Davis May, is at May, but
I'm switching this one again, Joey. You're the voice of reason this week because I'm gonna change my lock to the over on this game. I still think North Carolina gets the win, but I want to go over 66.
Well, you're gonna lose those.
I'm gonna lose this week.
No, I was like, you're gonna lose those bets, for me.
I mean, bring it. I think the overs on Oklahoma, Texas, over on this game. I think that's pretty solid right there. All right, onward. We talk about a lot. We talk about them a lot on this podcast. Western Kentucky and Austin Reed go into UTSA and the Roadrunners. That's a 5 p.m. game. It's on ESPN Plus, so not televised unless you got ESPN Plus. But interesting game for us in this podcast who follow both of the teams. And I'm going to root for Austin Reed to get the win there. I hope he does. UTSA favorite -6.5, but I'm just going to pull for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, and I did not know that the quarterback that they had last year, Zappe, like he plays for the Patriots now. Even got some playing time last Sunday, but he came from Houston Baptist, and so it looks like Western Kentucky is going with the route of we need to get these really good quarterback transfers from smaller schools, and Austin is just another example of that, playing extremely well. He's like top 5. Actually, in all of FBS, he's top 5 literally in statistical categories. But he does play for Western Kentucky, so that's going to be his crutch. Yep. But it could lead to a future in pro football. I mean, he has another year of eligibility. I have zero doubt that he will play next year. But give me the win. I think he's going to win the ball game. His team will win the ball game, but he'll play a hell of a game.
There you go.
Yeah, these are two of my favorite teams to bet on this year. I think I like Western Kentucky in this game. I think it's going to be really close and a half. Not a lock for me, though.
What a fun game. Like, who would have thought that, college football gets exciting to the point where you're watching Western Kentucky and UTSA. I mean, what betting does for a sport. Am I right? Like, come on. When you got some money on the line, you like to watch things a little better, a little more. All right, moving on. Clemson, Boston College. Who cares? Boston College got a win last week. Congratulations over Louisville. Louisville keeping the title of the most inconsistent team in college football this year for me. Washington State goes to USC. Washington State's been playing some damn good football. Another win last week. against California, 28-9. They go in and face number 6 USC. Any hot takes here?
Yeah. I mean, I think that USC better play some damn good football. Otherwise, they're going to lose this game. Like, I really do believe that it's a home game for them, and they could lose this ball game. Now, with that being said, they're going to win. But that minus 13, like that minus 13 is so tempting. It is so tempting. So tempting that I'm going to, just for fun, don't even hit the lock. This is an honorary lock. Like, this is my +1 lock. That Washington State will cover. USC will win. They're going to move to 6-0. But at minus 11, I think they will lose. I think that Washington State will lose this ball game by like 3, 4, or 5. So given an honorary lock, my last lock is coming up. But I am so intrigued by this game.
I wrote down the honorary lock. I don't know why I did that. It's like,
I'm glad you
whose line
did.
is it anyway?
This is
I'm glad you did.
you ready? You got anything else to say?
I'm good. I'm good.
This is the opposite of the Oklahoma State or Texas Tech games. I had both those teams. I've been on the right side of both these teams this year. Won a decent amount of money on USC and I really like Washington State, man. USC defense, like we said before, I think they're going to put up points. I think Washington State's going to put up points again, like everyone said. It's going to be the +13. Yeah, lock it in, baby. +13, Washington State.
Ooh.
I love Washington State.
I love that.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that lock. I'm glad you were able to lock it in.
I love that.
Do my
+13.
best.
There we go. Someone took it. I'm glad someone did. I'm there with you. I think Washington State covers.
Hey, I'm with Joey Two Guns. Davis, you could have just put a shot on it. All right, I'll put a shot on it. Let's do it.
You got USC, or what do you got?
Well, no, Washington State will cover at minus
David,
13.
yeah.
Just take us.
So Davis is putting a shot on it just himself because I think we're all in agreement here. I think we all think that Washington State's going to cover. And, you know, if Davis is going to put a shot on it, I'll put a shot on it too. And Joey says fine. Why not? Yeah.
Let's do it. We're all going to take a shot, and Justin will too because he's not here and he has no say in it.
Shot game. Yeah, shot game. Yeah, Justin has to take a shot. Even if he thinks USC is going to run away with it, we'll make him take a shot. All right, moving on. So, a bunch of great games to watch this week. South Carolina at Kentucky. Kentucky gets the win. Army at Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest gets that win. BYU at Notre Dame. I say BYU gets this win.
It's a rat line. Big time rat line. BYU should be favored. I'm nervous. I'm not going to bet it.
Yeah.
It's at Notre Dame. Notre Dame has looked a little bit better. I'm not confident in BYU right now. As a matter of fact, I do think Notre Dame will win this ball game, but not confident enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm confident in either team right now. I'm feeling BYU on this one. Moving forward, Kansas State, Iowa State. I think Kansas State's playing some good football right now. I got them winning this game. Iowa State, to me, they're not hot garbage, but they're approaching garbage at this point in the season for me. So I got Kansas State, and I'm hoping for a big time Kansas State-Kansas matchup there at the end of the season. Texas A&M, Alabama. This game, if you would have asked me before week 1, I would have said this is going to be the game of the week. This is one of the games of the year. No, Alabama's going to run away with it. I don't know what they're ranked right now, or not ranked, but yeah, Alabama's favorite -24. I hate doing that in this game. It's close to me. Alabama's going to win. They might cover.
I mean, of course, this is a revenge game. Obviously, it's at home. Last time that out Texas A&M was at Alabama, I think, or no, it wasn't the last time, obviously, but Johnny Manziel beat Alabama. But I'm wasting time. Alabama's gonna win. Wasting time.
You know, Texas A&M won against Alabama in 1972.
Back in my day.
Alabama blows them out of the water. One, because revenge game for Alabama, losing to them. Two, the whole Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban thing from midfield interaction goes, both before and after the game. I doubt they're. I'm going to take Alabama. I'll take Alabama big. I think they covered the spread.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you tune in more for the whole coaching drama and the build-up of the storyline that's going to happen before the game, and Alabama's going to whoop that ass. All right. Joey, here we go. Your game. Florida State at NC State. Florida State coming off that loss after getting ranked in the top 25. Now they're out. NC State coming off a loss against Clemson. Florida State's got NC State and then Clemson. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We have Clemson.
Florida State in that stretch of Wake Forest, NC State, Clemson. I said they would get at least one of those games. I think Florida State would get one of those games. I think this one might be it. I'm not sure. It's rough because NC State's coming off that loss, so you know they're going to play really good. I'm going to pick NC State this time, though. I'm picking NC State this time.
It's tough. We never played good Finley. That place, I don't know if you guys noticed about Carter Finley Stadium. Some people call it the piss house. They let their students, they let the whole stand leave the stadium at halftime and go back out maybe 5 more minutes. So by halftime, especially at the night game, they're going to be plastered. It's going to be rocking.
You can leave the stadium and come back in?
Yeah. After when halftime. So they're going to be hammered. The stadium apparently smells like piss. That's why. So it's going to be tough. I like coming into the season. I thought we'd lose Wake Forest. I thought we had a chance to beat Clemson because we played them at home next week. At the moment currently, this game's tough, man. I don't really think we cover. It's just gonna be tough. If we had our best defensive linemen, if our corners played any kind of decent football, we don't. So I think we lose NC State here. So
honesty.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I think that Florida State will lose too, but it won't be without a fight. Hey, Florida State's. I like Jordan Travis. Like, Joey, can I give you that compliment? I really like Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
He's a damn good quarterback. He has been so true to this team. Like, I want him to be successful. Like, I remember when Jameis was the quarterback, and I freaking hated the guy. And then he became the quarterback of the Bucs, and then I had to kind of like him. And now he's the quarterback of the Saints, and it's just hilarious. But I really like Jordan Travis. He fights like hell. He's so true to this team, and he's an absolute dog. So I want Florida State to do well just because of him.
Jordan Travis, he's a guy to like, and he's been playing. If you look at like PFF rankings, he's an elite quarterback this season. As a lineman, you already didn't have depth there to start, and then you lose. You're going to start at center before preseason. You lose your starting right tackle and your starting left tackle. He's not for sure going to play in this game. So that's how much can you do? I mean, the receivers are so much better point, but he's not running the ball at all. And when you have a bad offensive line, when we have, like, you need legs. Maybe that changes this week. Maybe the coaching staff puts it in something different. But if he's not going to run game or the next game.
Yeah,
But again,
you guys have had some scares with injuries from Jordan Travis even this year. I still think Florida State's a damn good football team, and I think that if on a good day you guys can win this game. But you gotta find that good day, and honestly, there's no telling. This game is a toss up for me. All games in the ACC, not all games, but a lot of these games among these teams, Florida State, NC State, Clemson, Wake Forest, those teams, I think they can cannibalize each other. Same with the SEC.
this game is winnable. It is absolutely.
No, yeah. 100% winnable for Florida State. 100% winnable if you're NC State, too. I don't think we saw the best NC State last week against Clemson. But you know what? Maybe Clemson had something to do with that. But we will move on from there. Oregon, Arizona. I think Oregon blows Arizona out of the water. Oregon State, Stanford. Don't really care. I could see Oregon State winning, most likely in my mind.
I actually kind of like Oregon State a lot in that game. It was going to be a lot, but I so.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, -7 coming off a loss against Utah, pretty bad. They're going to want to prove themselves. This is a good Oregon State team. I like the Beavs.
Yeah, they're bad. So
yeah, I like the Beavs. Didn't mention this. Michigan at Indiana. Michigan wins that game. Also didn't mention this one. Tennessee goes to LSU. LSU's 4-1 after that loss to FSU. I think Tennessee's the better team here. I like Tennessee to win. -3. I'm not going to lock it in because I have my one lock left. I'm saving it for the game of the week. But this is close to being the game of the week. It's a good game. It's in Death Valley. It's going to be rocking. It's early on. Let's see. It's a 11 a.m. game on ESPN. So it's not a night game in Death Valley, but it's still a top 25 matchup in Death Valley.
yeah, I like Tennessee in this game. It's kind of funny that LSU is 4-1 and ranked 25th 4-1, and they're not ranked, but there's no bias or anything. Seeing this game, I don't think LSU's offense can keep up. I'm not. I think he's kind of feasted on some lesser teams this year. Not feasted all that game. No, I think Tennessee wins this game. I think they win it by about 10. They cover.
I love Tennessee for the fact that they have struggled so long and they're trying to get back into being like the team. I mean, Tennessee, Peyton Manning, when they were their quarterback, they were the team. T. Martin, they won a championship with them. They have won championships in the past too, but I think that going into LSU is always going to be tough. At 3, it is. Oh man, it makes me so tempted. I do think that Tennessee, though, is still going to walk away with the win. LSU at home is always going to be a tough time to win. I mean, Jalen Daniels has done a pretty good job. I mean, outside of that first loss against Florida State, which he still did really good. LSU is still a decent team. Give me Tennessee, though.
All right, good. All right.
Really good quarterback.
Now, I left these last 2 games because either one of them could be our game of the week. One of them is, and then one of them is the college football and barstool game of the week. It's the TCU Horny Toads going against the Kansas Jayhawks. I know they're not toads, they're frogs. The Horny Frogs. Both teams undefeated. 4-0 TCU and 5-0 Kansas. TCU's favorite -7. I like that, and I'm going to lock it in. This is my last lock of the week. I like TCU, how they played against Oklahoma last week. I like Max Duggan. Kansas doing a really good job this year. I just think some of their games were a little too close for comfort, especially last week against Iowa State. They should have handled them a little better. Your 5-0 Kansas team for the first time since, I think, 2008, 2007, something like that. So, congratulations there. I think this is where it ends, but I still think Kansas goes on and wins some games.
Now, I am so happy that TCU was favored at -7 because Kansas is going to win this ball game. They're going to win this ball game. Now, the over and under at 67.5 might be a stretch. But I'm going to ride the Kansas train right now. They're having so much fun. I love that. I mean, come on, Kansas has been terrible for like the last 10 years. And here they are. They're rolling something. They're doing something. So go ahead and give me the Kansas to win. With that, lock that shit in. Now, but give me the under. Give me the under. And, like, let's just enjoy the victory.
Yeah, see, I'm with Davis on this one. I just don't think about this before previous seasons. Sometimes it takes a little while for Vegas to keep games because it's kind of ahead. You know, look at Kansas against Iowa State. We talked about Kansas was underdogs last week. I mean, that was crazy. That was easy money. I think this game should be almost a pick 'em, and you're giving me 7 points of Kansas. I'm going to take 7 points, and I think Kansas wins this game too. To be honest with you, they're
You guys want to put a shot on this game? This is shot.
this
Potential
would be our
two-shot.
shot game.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Why?
Sure.
I'm
Yep,
not scared.
let's do it.
good.
TCU
That's fine.
win against Oklahoma. I mean, it's not just like they beat Oklahoma; they kicked the shit out of Oklahoma. The letdown spot.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a letdown spot. I don't see it happening. I like Max Duggan. It reminds me of Tim Tebow. He wears the 15 too.
I hate him more now.
Gotcha. Now, this week's college football extravaganza game of the week.
Louisville, Virginia.
Louisville, Virginia. How'd you know? Utah at UCLA. Or UCLA hosting Utah. My bad. Utah 4-1. Their only loss to Florida in week 1. UCLA coming off a big win against Washington, and they're 5-0. The Fighting Chip Kellys. -4.5 for Utah. Favorites going into the Rose Bowl. UCLA underdogs. They're probably screaming, put some respect on our name at this point. But we're going to find out here. This is a respect game. If UCLA wins, they got some major respect coming out of this one moving forward the rest of the season.
You know,
I like Utah.
Like what? I mean, UCLA, like I mentioned earlier, like a quiet team. You know, UCLA has been a quiet team, but they're winning. And last week, doing a really good job. And they're at the Rose Bowl. But I'm going to have to go with Utah on this one. I mean, Utah, that early loss against Florida, they've rebounded extremely well. I mean, they've had a nuclear bomb threat against the school, and they managed to pull through and win. I'm going to go with Utah.
Yeah, I think I like UCLA. I don't want to be. I'd only get against Florida, and obviously they didn't impress me. And UCLA, I disrespect them because I said I didn't. They haven't impressed me since Chip Kelly's been there. But take UCLA. I don't love it, but I think I might pull this one off.
Joey Two Gun says UCLA wins as well. Y'all just don't want Utah to be good. Y'all want that first win that Florida had to look as bad as possible. That's my reasoning. Oh, never mind. That's why he did that.
He's
talking shit, Davis.
The best bet. Hey, man, I'm having a good year so far, so let's go.
Yeah,
I want that. I'll put another shot.
You guys can count on me next week to go back through and figure out what all these locks are, and I'll get a tally for us to see where we are with our locks. But other than that, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thanks for tuning in again, and come back next week. And we're thinking about doing one of these weeks, doing a watch along with some games, maybe on a Saturday when we're all in town or something like that. So I have to figure out how to do that. I wanted to figure out a way where we could play the game also and not get copyrighted on us, but I don't think
That's
we can.
illegal.
It's illegal. I think Barstool can't do it. We probably can't do it because they don't even show any of the game.
I mean, you're the lawyer.
Well, see, you can't. The thing about it is you can't use a substantial amount of the other product, whatever it is, be it a song or something like that. Typically, a song is like under 30 seconds you can use. With the thing, we would be like, my idea is we'd be in front of the green screen. The game's like behind us. We're watching the game in front of us, so people can see it going on. Or maybe we have like 4 different ones split screened, maybe 2 different ones split screen. That way, it's like we're in front of it. It's our own thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be utter chaos because with the 5 games, I'm trying to follow along what we're talking about. I'm screaming about.
Yeah, no, it can't be done. It's impossible. It's you ever seen Action Bronson Travels the Stars or whatever with it's on Vice where they just sit there and get high and they watch Ancient Aliens the whole time.
And then like the green screen in the background is showing what they're watching. It's
That's what I want to do.
Just get high as fuck and watch football.
No, just get Joey high. That's what we want to do.
Man, I'm trying to lose my job.
Yep. All right. We're signing off. Here in the next few weeks, look for the podcast to have a couple upgrades. So come back and join us. Adios.